I'm excited about today's episode, a real-life 988 crisis hotline success story. So this is going to be an inspiring episode today. Bennett from the new 96.5. You heard me talk plenty on my show about the Philadelphia Department of Behavioral Health and Intellectual Disability Services. I love this partnership. I love what you guys do day in and day out, and I love the 988 crisis hotline. You can call or text if you need help, and Ayanna did just that, so I cannot wait to hear your story. Welcome you guys in. Ayanna, good to see you.
You too, thank you.
And you got your mom here, Monava.
Monava, yes.
You work for the Department of Behavioral Health.
I do, yeah, in the communications department.
Good to have you here in the new 96.5 studio. And we have Patrick back for another round. We were talking last episode. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
So you are a crisis counselor, of course, with 988.
Yes.
So first of all, how is everyone? How you doing?
We're doing great. Yeah, we're doing great. Going strong. We were very busy over the winter, as folks were in crisis. But that's what we're here for.
So talk to me a little bit about your role specifically with 988.
So I am a supervisor on the line right now, and so I work with my staff who are taking calls from folks who are seeking support, particularly for folks who are having suicidal thoughts, or they're needing just someone to listen to what their story is. We assess for safety, make sure that people are safe. We ask sometimes if folks want to, we ask all the time if they want a mobile team to go and help them, bring them to a crisis center, or give referrals so they can access referrals in the community. But of course, our biggest part is that we talk with people who are in crisis.
And listen.
Absolutely listen. Yeah, I actually do more listening than I do talking.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Because sometimes that alone, just that ear, is helpful, right? Just to unload and have someone there with unbiased opinions, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's who else? We get to hear a lot of people's stories, and we get to lighten the burden.
Right.
And build that connection, because that's what we're doing, is we're building connections so people don't feel so alone.
Well, in comes Ayanna, who made that call to 988. Tell me a little bit about what led up to that phone call.
I feel like ever since a young age, I had dealt with suicidal ideations, and it sort of became normal in my head to think that way. And at times it would build up to a head, and I would go to my mom, and obviously she's not a professional, so she would tell me to call 988, and I would have hesitation just because, I don't know this person, it's a phone call, it feels weird. That was my thought process before I called. Mm-hmm. And I kind of attested to my brain developing, I guess, just becoming more of a full human being, to be like, you know what, I can't, test it anymore. I can't, chance the possibility that could happen. Obviously for my family and friends, but for myself, and I felt called to do it. It just sort of happened. It was a feeling, and I called, and I got really lucky because the person that answered was really, really helpful and worked with me where I was at, and like you said, you listened more than you talked, and it felt like for the first time someone was not for the first time, obviously, because my mom helps me, but it felt different, and like you said, there was a crisis. What did you call it? The people who come. You said
mobile team.
Mobile team. You said someone could come and help me. I knew that was an option, so I just felt like I had options.
Yeah, I love how you said how you kind of had preconceived feelings before you made that call, like a little bit of doubt, or because that's how kind of I felt as well. You know what I mean? You kind of think oh, you open up too much and then you're going to be taken away in a straitjacket.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Which obviously that's not the case.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a brave moment for you though to pick up that phone.
Thank you. Yeah, it felt brave. I kind of in the middle of the phone call, I don't know if you remember, but I was I just started to feel oh my God, why am I doing this? I don't know. I started to feel like a crazy person or something, and you definitely reassured me that I was not crazy and that this is something that happens, and there's options and help out there and everything.
Now, Mom, Monava, I mean, how is it from your perspective? Obviously, you work with the company, and also this is your daughter. How is your feeling seeing your daughter go through this? Because as a parent, you feel helpless in a sense.
Yeah, it was really scary, and we stayed up really late that night and a couple nights after that. But I'm the sort of parent that is solution-based. I'm ready to do whatever it takes, and I really appreciate that Patrick made Ayanna feel comfortable and gave her a lot of options, and really eased her mind. Like you said, she wasn't going. All of her sort of fears were sort of, dispelled and answered, and we had a plan. We were able to, and she was more open to making the next steps, which I was, going to be there for no matter what. So I felt sort of trapped before, like what to do, and now we had a plan, and I could do something about it. I felt less helpless.
Right. Now, Patrick, walk me through when someone calls like Ayanna. Walk me through that process. Because I'm sure there's people watching and listening that might have been on the fence, like you, Ayanna. There's something holding them back from making that call or making that text. So kind of walk me through what that process is like once they get to someone like you.
So, we immediately ask if folks are having thoughts about suicide, and we assess for safety from there. If the person says that they are having thoughts, we say, all right, let's talk about it. Talk about those thoughts with us. So we go into detail to make sure the person is safe. And if they're not safe, they don't feel safe, we come up with a plan together. We collaborate on a plan together. Because obviously the person's calling because they feel like they need support and they want support. And part of our conversation is putting them at ease as much as we can in the moment, because that is, as you're right, it's a very scary moment. One, to acknowledge you've had these thoughts, and then to share them, and then again, that's like you think that someone's going to come swoop in and just take you against your will.
Right.
right. And
I'm not sure who told us that.
There's a lot of movies
embedded in my brain.
There's a lot of movies with that, and so we really want to assure that's not going to happen. So we're not going to do that. We only involve that level. It's like on a whole, and when it's very specific, when there's immediate danger. But if you're saying that it's like, I just need to talk about it, talk about what's going on, then we try to normalize the conversation, because it is a normal conversation. It's awkward because we're not used to having it.
That's like my family growing up. You don't talk about anything. You just keep it moving, and everyone kind of just buries it deep down, which might help temporarily, but in a long term, it's not a solution. Long term, it kind of just makes things worse and builds.
It builds up. It builds up, and that's how suicidal ideation actually works. Is it builds up to a point, and then you make a decision.
Right.
And then you make a decision to reach out for help, and then once you start that connection, the urge decreases. And then you have, and then when you have a variety of choices, you can go. We can have someone bring you to a CRC. We can reach out to, if you want some help with getting connected to outpatient services, we can help with that. We can help facilitate that. There's so many options are available for folks.
How long would you say is the average length of call? I'm just curious. Like, are you on the phone for like a half hour? Is this an hour?
No, it's anywhere like average is like 10 minutes or less.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes, it's like sometimes it's a minute. Sometimes it can be 30 minutes depending on what's happening.
Sure.
We don't want to limit that, especially if someone's in crisis.
Yeah.
We don't like,
sure,
hit the watch. It's like resolved in 15.
Right.
Yeah, it's like we don't do that, because that's not how it works.
Yeah.
And
Ayanna, when you made that call and you talked to Patrick, what about his approach or just talking to someone made you feel different than you did in the past?
Like I said, it felt like he was genuinely actively listening. Also, as you can hear, his voice is very welcoming, calm, and like sort of like disarming, because I came on the call like girl, like I can't. You're at 10.
Yeah,
and he was like, okay, let's like work through this. And and I can't say that other people haven't done this same thing. I think it was also a similar thing at least. I think it was also being open. Like, you have to be open to hear it and
Right.
actually receive it and do something about it. So that definitely was a element that was.
That's so true. You have to kind of meet in the middle, right?
Exactly.
If you're not ready to hear it, it could be anyone talking
Exactly.
to you, and it's just not going to get to you.
Exactly, yeah.
And I'm sure, Monava, you've tried in the past, but sometimes it might be different, coming from a parent than from someone that you don't know. Would you agree with that?
Yes, yeah. I feel there's a lot more on the line. There's expectations there, and there's roles that we fit into, where I feel like Patrick could listen like non-judgment, like he doesn't have anything to lose, or there's no history there, so he's just a professional.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a parent, when I tell my daughter to do something at 5 years old, it's hit or miss if she'll listen, but she'll
Yeah.
listen to, a teacher or a
Right.
parent that she doesn't even know.
Right.
Yeah, and Ayanna's 24, so she's an adult, and
Right.
that time
It's even
period,
harder, yeah.
Yeah, of me telling her what to do every day is past. So I really wanted it to be her decision,
Yeah,
and for me to just support.
right. And so this happened, you made the call, fall of last year. So now we're talking March 27th, 2026. How are you feeling today, this very moment?
Much different, much more better, just positive mindset. Not so, like, I don't know what the word is, like, everything just felt very final, like, you know what I mean? And because I didn't think about my future in a real way, like, it was like, girl, like, I don't know how long this is gonna last type of thing, so I didn't really care, you know what I mean? And I feel like now I actually have a vision for the future, and I actually do care about where I'm going, where my life takes me. So I feel much better, much better.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Monava, how great is it to see your daughter now?
It's a huge relief.
Yeah.
Yeah. You always worry about your kids, and I could get emotional all the time, about my kids, but I definitely see a difference in her. She sleeps better. She's getting out of the house more. Has way more interest because she's very creative, and now she's getting into that. And you see kids try really hard in school, and then when school was over, it was kind of like, well, what's next for her? You can believe in your kids as much as as much as anyone, but if they don't believe in themselves or take a chance on themselves, or then it's really hard to convince, especially in this day and age.
Sure.
I was really trying to stay positive and tell my kids that there's a wonderful future out there for you, but it's they know everything that's going on. You can't keep anything from your kids, so it just was becoming difficult, and without that sort of energy coming from her, it was hard to meet her in the middle. So now it's definitely like a 180. Yeah.
It's incredible.
It's incredible.
Wow. That's a weight off all of your shoulders. Because what you said, it's like you could tell them everything in the world, like you were capable of this, that, and the other thing, but if they don't believe it, it
Yeah.
falls on deaf ears because you have to feel it inside of you. And I love how you said that now you see a future.
Yeah.
Because I know when you're in it, you don't see any, like the blinders are on, and your negative thoughts snowball and spiral, and you don't think about tomorrow or the next day or anything. You think about, you're trapped in that moment. I know that all too well. And I know how just suffocating it can be. So it just feels probably like a whole new lease on life for you.
Definitely. I don't know. I feel more like gratitude and I don't know, just openness. Like I'm ready. I don't know. I feel eager. I feel good.
And appreciate life again. Like you
Yeah.
get to appreciate the small things, and that's just a really beautiful thing. And so, Monava, you found out through I think you seek permission, right? Because these phone calls are normally, obviously.
Yeah. It was something I had to clear with a couple supervisors,
Sure.
and I wasn't quite sure. Like Patrick and I have known each other for a long time, so when she said the name of the phone call, was Patrick, I was like, could that be? So I checked with a few people, and they said, yeah, go ahead. We love these type of stories. Yeah, and then so we had lunch and reconnected, and yeah, it was great. I was so glad that it was Patrick.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do you feel after hearing this? Putting you on the spot.
I know, right? Well, it's I loved the fact that I was able to help, Ayanna,
Yeah.
and I love the fact that I was able to help my friend's daughter,
Yeah.
and not know that, and until I found out. And even having that knowledge, I too had to check with my supervisors too, because we're professionals.
Sure.
You know, so we don't want to cross any ethical boundaries. And this is, you know, and so we followed a lot of supervision. Can we really talk about this? How do we do this? You know, and I was encouraged to talk about it and celebrate it. You know, because it is a tremendous success, because that's not always the outcome.
Sure.
You know, and I'm really glad that this is the outcome.
Well, it speaks to you and your soothing voice, but also your professionalism and dedication and your openness. You know, it takes two.
Yeah.
And it takes someone very brave and just ready to turn the page on depression and turn the page on what you know is not working, you know? So just proud. That's very cool.
Thank you.
Because it took me much later than 24 in life to like I got, and what you said, I did do this for me. Not for mom, although I'm sure that was in the back of your mind, or for family or friends, but you did it for you first and foremost, and I think that's kind of the reason why you picked up the phone.
Yeah, definitely.
It's beautiful. So what advice would you give someone watching or listening who has yet to pick up the phone to call or text? I'll start with you, Ayanna.
I would say, speaking from a Gen Z's perspective, I guess, like, a lot of things are perceived as, like, corny or, like, too earnest or whatever, and I feel like none of that matters for such a permanent decision. And like, obviously all of this is easier said than done. I want to like say that first, but you really have to like put the things that don't matter aside and assess what actually truly matters to you. And if nothing matters, then you have to go, okay, I have to find something. I have to ground myself somehow because I'm existing, like, and I can't make such a permanent decision and domino affect everyone in my life and throw away whatever you want to do. Like, you know, I don't believe that anyone is born in their entire life genuinely never have any wants or desires or dreams and aspirations. And so I think it just takes the real work and being open within yourself and like kind of being done with it too.
Right.
Like, I feel like it gets really, really tiring being such a negative space all the time. And, you know, like, it would even happen, like, I would see people being really positive and get angry at it. Like, you're just, like, faking it. Like, no one really is that. Yeah, and it's such a, like, it's.
Which is not a healthy way to live.
No, and it's just such a bummer, to put it, like, super simply. And, and so, like, I don't know, you just have to really do it for yourself. Like, because your parents, your family, like, I know that that's not enough, unfortunately. You know, like, I wish that it was enough for everyone. I wish that everyone had, you know, that desire to stay for your family, but you have to do it for yourself and like find that somewhere.
Monava, what would you say?
Well, I'm a pretty positive person, and I would say, you know, just stick in there. Like, you know, you're never going to give up on your kids, so the day will come when it'll make a breakthrough. And I've always felt like my kids will eventually, all the things I tell them will sink in, and that day just came. So I was just holding out for that day, and it finally came. So just stick in, just keep
going, right?
Keep going.
Keep going.
It'll happen. Your kids will be fine, and you know, if you're that stable thing in their life, then I think they'll have something to hold on to. Like, so just stick with it.
Can I add one more thing before Patrick?
Absolutely.
I just want to say, because like, I know that being in that space, these are the last things that you want to hear. Like, when people say, oh, keep going, or just like be positive, and like, you're just like, girl, like, you're not understanding what's going on. Like, it's not that simple. If it was that simple, I would just do it. So I do want to acknowledge that. And like, but at least for me, I remember there's always like literally like a grain of rice amount of like light and positivity. It's there. You just have to believe that it's there, you know?
Yeah. And kind of filter through all the negative thoughts and feelings. Like, it happened to me just recently. I can't even lie to you guys. It's a kind of an ongoing battle with me. I'm going to be 40 soon, so I have all those like, you know, halfway done thoughts. And did I accomplish everything I wanted to accomplish? Am I going to be dead soon? You know what I mean? All these random thoughts.
Yeah.
My birthday passed last week ago today. And I was a big bummer on my birthday. Big bummer for the whole weekend. I don't know. I couldn't filter through my thoughts.
Yeah.
And the techniques that I have kind of acquired over the years, nothing was really working. And it was kind of frustrating.
Yeah.
But you kind of just have to stick with it and keep going. But the snowball effect is not cool because you can't see anything else.
Yeah.
And I think what got me out of this funk is because you start to go through every year of your life and how you got to this point, right? Over almost 4 decades of life for me. And it's like, okay, my daughter who's 5 is perfect. And everything had to align in my life for her to be here. You know what I mean? So that was like the equalizer. It's like, okay, well, I couldn't have messed up too much in life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if I mean, you know, little things were different, like the butterfly effect, if small things were different, she maybe not here. I mean, my life is different, and maybe I'm very unhappy. You know what I mean? So I kind of think in that sense, it kind of just brought me back to life. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Back to business. Like, we're good. Patrick, what would your advice be for someone like Ayanna, like myself, like anyone listening or watching that has been thinking about picking up the phone to just talk with someone?
Do it.
Do it.
Give yourself those 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, you're thinking about making a major final decision. Give yourself another 10 minutes,
Yeah.
you know, to really talk about it, you know, and entertain the idea of, like, you know, stick around and find out,
Right.
you know, because really that's the other side of it. You know, stick around and find out. You can make a final decision for yourself, and then you know what the outcome will be. You know, the alternative is to stick around and find out. And then you'll know it. You'll know why when that moment happens. And the whole reason, and then you'll feel that joy.
Right.
And you'll feel that connection. It's like, now that's it. That is why I stuck around.
Right.
Just for this.
Do you feel like the stigma behind mental health is changing? Do you think more people are opening up and being honest and having a conversation?
Absolutely. And you see it a lot with men because, you know, we have a lot of male callers.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Because that's been a big problem with men like myself. Bottle it and keep it moving and festers, and it's not good.
Yeah, it's not good, and it's professionals, you know, it's physicians, it's police, you know, professions that have high suicide rates. You know, folks are reaching out asking for help. You know, and that's a good sign. You know, we're busy. That's a good sign because there are more people are reaching out. They're getting the message, and they're taking that. They're giving themselves those 10 minutes.
Because just after that one conversation, how much lighter, just in that moment, did you feel, just unloading?
I mean, it was like, I remember talking to my mom after, and I want to emphasize, like, the people in your life. Like, obviously, not everyone is, you know, fortunate enough to have an amazing mom, amazing siblings. And it just brought me sort of, like, here with it. Like, I had a real conversation with her sort of for the first time, because you were talking about how when there's dynamics with your family, you feel like you have to, an expectation that you, and it might not even be a real expectation, something you put on yourself. And I feel like for the first time I had like broke that wall and had a real conversation with her and saw how much weight that it had put on her, everything that I, you know, had been going through. And I just was like, you know, she doesn't deserve that. And I don't know, I just felt different towards her about it. Like, I looked at her as an individual, like, she doesn't deserve this, my sister doesn't deserve this. And yeah, I just, I felt different about it. And the phone call really, it was like the first step to lifting that weight, you know, and yeah. I don't even remember what your question
Yeah,
was.
I feel like
No, you answered it. Yeah.
definitely our conversations since then have there's a veil that's been lifted. Like we're not sort of in these weird spaces anymore where we're thinking too much in our own head.
Yeah.
We're really having more honest conversations.
Yeah.
And I think before she was telling me what I wanted to hear or telling me something just to shut me up. And now I think we're less afraid of the truth.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we probably trust each other or we've just been through this. So we can talk more honestly now about how we're really feeling. And it's not as scary because we know that we'll still be there on the other side.
Yeah.
How freeing is that?
Like, it's you can't really describe it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and then what you were saying earlier, just it's about the after. And once you do feel the 180 of positivity and gratitude and all of those things, it doesn't, obviously, it's not a switch. You still have to do everyday work if you have depression, anxiety, all of those things.
Sure.
But you look and you go, oh my God, that was such a waste of time. Like, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
like, it's hard to not look or blame yourself or feel guilty about it. But you go like, you know what? Like, forward, you know?
Right.
We're moving forward and we're focusing on the fact that we're in a different place. And yeah.
Then you start talking about like your mom and your sister, like you realize how much, this affects, it's not just one person. And that also makes you probably feel less alone. Like this affects your mom, affects your sister, affects your
100%.
surroundings, you know what I mean? So when you take yourself out of the equation, you see how important your life is and how special you are and how loved you are. And, from a parent perspective, I mean, there's no love greater. So to see your child go through that, but then also present day, be on the other side of it, seeing how she is now with a life to live and a future to be excited about. I mean, this is just the start of a whole new exciting chapter.
Yeah, that's all you really want.
Yeah, that's all you want for your child.
Yeah,
It's a beautiful thing.
it is.
Thank you for the inspiring story. Like, this is such a cool thing because I think a lot of people, when they think mental health, they think just all the negative aspects of it, which obviously there are, but there's also the other end. There's the light at the end of the tunnel. And all because you picked up that phone. So it's amazing.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure talking to you, Ayanna.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah. And Monava, appreciate you, Mom.
Thank you.
Congrats on raising an incredible daughter who's now has a whole exciting life to live and be excited for.
Yes.
And Patrick, big thanks to you.
Oh, thank you.
One of many calls you've received and another person that you've helped, all because of 988. I love that conversation so much. I felt so inspired, and I hope you did too. If you or someone you know is struggling right now, it's okay. You are never alone. You can call or text 988 for support. Help is only a call or text away.